The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online, a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not, no retribution, and where you ought to be subscribing to my Twitter feed, twitter.com/GaryBaumgarten, to find out what's going on in the world, things that you may or may not hear of in the mainstream media. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show, and a very special welcome to those of you who were attending the Malaria Day celebration here on Paltalk, where we were raising money for malaria. A special thanks to the people who made that all possible, the Little Angels Charity, a group of Paltalkers who worked to raise money for important charities. They helped us raise money for malaria today, and they will be back at it again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, raising money for Tay-Sachs right here on Paltalk. So why don't you go and join them over the weekend as well. Welcome everyone to the show. We're going to have a live report in just a second from Alan Jasie, who is patiently waiting his turn to talk to us from the United Nations, where the opening session of the General Assembly got underway 2 hours ago. Just wanted to point out one item in the news that is on my Twitter feed today. An Al-Qaeda supporter who ran a terrorist camp in Oregon has been sentenced to life in prison. I just want to comment on this. It's bad enough where they go overseas to Afghanistan or some other stan to get their terrorist training. To me, it's a lot worse when it happens right here in the United States of America. And there are too many of these terrorist camps, according to my sources in the intelligence community, already, and I'm glad they shut one down and they tried and convicted the operator of that one, and he's getting life in prison. This is something we should not be allowing in the United States of America. I'm sure everybody here agrees, and if they don't, you're wrong. I'm right on this one. Well, it's the opening session of the United Nations General Assembly. As always, there will be controversy, especially on September the 24th, when Mr. Ahmadinejad, the purported president of Iran, addresses the General Assembly. Of course, he has the right to do so, but a lot of Americans in particular are irked that he's going to be here on our soil. And in fact, there is a call to boycott Ahmadinejad, and as always, there will be a protest across the street from the United Nations. That's where we find our intrepid reporter, Alan Jasie. Alan, I know Ahmadinejad isn't there today, and most of what's happening on the first day is pro forma, but are there people out there picketing, and what various causes are they supporting?
Well, Gary, for the most part, it's pretty quiet here. There are a couple of protests. One is against Burma for, to free the Burmese freedom activist Sun Kyi. But I just left a gentleman, Mr. Abbas, who is part of www.notoahmadinejad.com, and hit that organization on the 23rd of September at 11 a.m. in Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza will be leading a rally against Ahmadinejad. I'll be able to file that report tomorrow. We just concluded a short interview. And we will try and get a spokesman from that organization on the show before the 23rd.
That'd be fantastic.
But for the most part, like I said, Gary, it's pretty quiet here. You see a lot of activity, a lot of the UN bureaucrats going in and out of the building. Like I said, there's no protesters. It just looks like any other day. The UN has a couple of things that they have some posters outside of the building where they're believed to be key issues that they want to send a message to. One is trafficking in persons is a big poster that they have out there, and again, prevent suppression and punishment, and and support the UN Office on Drugs and Crime. And the other thing is on September 21st, they're talking about an International Day of Peace against WMDs, and their tagline is WMD, we must disarm. And it said, take action for a world against nuclear weapons. So, those are a couple of messages that they're sending to those who walk by the building right now. Now, also looking at the agenda for the 64th General Assembly Congress, it just seems like the greatest hits agenda. I mean, they're going to be dealing with the Middle East, the Palestinian issue, Afghanistan, the armed aggression in the Congo, human rights and democracy in Haiti, and, of course, two issues that you just spoke about. One is the decade to roll back malaria, which this is the final year of a 10-year project that the UN has been sponsoring. And the other is the issue, one of the key issues they wanted to talk about is the other issue we just spoke about, which is Iran and nuclear weapons. So those are just some highlights of the agenda that I was looking at earlier. Again, 264 pages, a lot to get through, and I just pulled out some of the things that did stand out.
Yeah, you just mentioned that on the 23rd there's going to be a protest against Ahmadinejad. The larger protest will be on the 24th. And I hope that is a massive, massive protest, so loud that the people inside the General Assembly can actually hear them. They're calling it the Stand for Freedom in Iran rally. And, this is our opportunity as a world community to come together and say enough of this kind of oppression of the Iranian people. But you're absolutely right that the human rights violations are not limited to Iran. We see them also in Burma and in many other nations around the world as well. And we try to keep on top of as much of that as possible right here on News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. Alan, the president, will be there, and I presume that on the top of his agenda as well as concurrently the European Union is planning a meeting in Turkey with Iran. The issue of nuclear non-proliferation in Iran is high on the agenda this year.
Yeah, Gary, I believe that's scheduled for October 1st. And not only will the United States be participating